So let me ask you, can the folks in the back hear okay? Well, good morning. Wasn't yesterday an incredible, wonderful day for Democrats? I don't know about you, but speech after speech, and finally, those last 15 minutes of the president's speech, he explained to us why we are Democrats. And when Hillary walked out on that stage and they embraced, it was a compelling moment for me, and I hope it was for you, because it was such a contrast between what happened in Cleveland with the hate and the venom and the divisiveness, the bigotry, compared to what we have experienced at this great convention as Democrats. An effort to pull this country together, an effort to spread the word that we are stronger together. And I am so proud. Now, my friends, why are we Democrats? Are we Democrats because of history and tradition? Are we Democrats because our parents told us to be a Democrat? Probably all of those things enter into our being a Democrat. But I see my friends from the Virgin Islands shaking her head. Bless your heart. Thank you all for being here. I believe we are Democrats because we share a common conviction and a common belief in the common good of America. And that's why we are Democrats. Donald Trump, I'm going to say what you know and what you've heard probably 1,000 times in recent days. Donald Trump is totally, utterly unfit to be the President of the United States. What kind of man would encourage hate and division and intolerance while he is running to be the President of this country of ours? What kind of man would refer to women as pigs or animals? What kind of man would mock a disabled person? A kind of man who is unfit to lead this country. As Jerry said, Donald Trump is contrary to everything that America stands for. And we've got to defeat him. And we've got to put Hillary Clinton in the White House. But I want to talk to you briefly this morning about the Senate. I'm running for the Senate because I think what happens in Ohio could determine which party controls the United States Senate. And my friends, that will help determine what happens to the United States Supreme Court going forward. I think perhaps the greatest threat to our country is what president and what Senate will refashion the United States Supreme Court going forward. And if Donald Trump and his kind have the ability to put 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 more extreme, radical right-wingers on that court, everything we care about, voting rights, environmental protections, labor rights, women's rights, the right to choose, all of these things will be at risk. And it's important that we convey that to the people of Ohio, because we've got a big burden on our shoulders. We all know the importance of Ohio in national elections. And this year, Not only is the presidency on that ballot in Ohio, not only is control of the Senate on that ballot in Ohio, but the control, the refashioning of the United States Supreme Court is on that ballot this November. This is a very consequential election, the most consequential election of my lifetime and probably the lifetime of most of the people in this room. So I want to talk briefly about Senator Portman. I say he's not a bad human being. I just simply think he's wrong on all of the important issues. I want to make an announcement. I know you had a chance to sing Happy Birthday to Francis a couple of days ago. But I want to tell you about an anniversary today. It was 11 years ago today that Rob Portman described himself as the quarterback for the CAFTA agreement. 11 years ago today. Happy anniversary, Senator. We just want to remind you and every Ohioan that you are the guy who voted for NAFTA, that you voted 14 times to grant China most favored nation trade status, that you called yourself the quarterback for CAFTA, that you've never met a free trade agreement that you didn't like, according to the Columbus Dispatch, and that's why you are the best senator that China has ever had.
Yep.
So I'll tell you a few other things about this guy. He's opposed to raising the minimum wage. I want to raise the minimum wage. He has voted 5 times, Lana, 5 times he's voted against pay equity for women. I support pay equity for women. He has voted to deprive 6 million Americans of overtime pay. I think people who work overtime should get overtime pay. He has supported turning Medicare into a voucher. He has voted to do that. I believe we ought to protect Medicare, strengthen and preserve it for future generations. He has supported turning Social Security into a privatized program. College affordability. What about our kids trying to earn a college education without incurring a lifetime of debt? He has voted for the largest cut in Pell Grants in the history of the program. As George Bush's budget director, he advocated for the elimination of the Perkins Loan Program for needy students. And what about the auto rescue? We all know how important the auto industry is in Ohio. Can you imagine a senator from the state of Ohio opposing the auto rescue and all of the thousands and thousands of jobs related to that vital industry? Well, let me tell you, Rob Portman said the auto rescue was a lousy deal for Ohio. Let me tell you what would have been lousy. All of those jobs being lost. That would have been lousy. All of those jobs he's outsourced to China. That was lousy. So I'm almost finished. But let me say this, my friends. You are looking at the $36 million man. Now, I grew up on Duck Run. Didn't get plumbing in my house till I was in high school. Went to a one-room school. And they are spending $36 million to try to take this duck runner out of the Senate race. And by God, it's not going to work. I learned something. as one of 9 kids and one of 5 brothers. I know how to fight. And I'm fighting because I care about the people of Ohio and the people of this country, and the Koch brothers doesn't give a damn about them. And that's why I'm fighting, and that's why I'm going to win, and that's why I'm so grateful for your help. Thank you.